up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen. Get yourself comfy, this could take a while, what a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly. Good morning everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's reading assembly. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, together we will
collaborate.
Okay, just leave me to get on with it. Every single Stukeley day we focus on. Our Stukeley motto is, our Stukeley curriculum is, and 4 words that make the magic happen. Yes. Right, welcome to reading. You can see I'm excited already because we're going to crack on very soon with Mr. Gum. But before we do that, I just want to say that the Oakleaf Bookshop opened yesterday for the first time in a long time. I know there were 1 or 2 children who missed out, and I'm really sorry that happened. So I will make up for that today. So if you missed out yesterday, we'll do it today. But remember that tomorrow it's for Foundation Year 3 and Year 6. By the end of this week, everybody who's brought money in should have been able to visit the Oakleaf Bookshop and buy some lovely bits to take home. Also, don't forget that if you didn't spend all of your money, we keep a little bit of money back for you to spend next time. So if you've given me £10 and you go home with a Horrid Henry and an eraser, and your family say, "Whoa! £10 is a lot of money for a Horrid Henry and an eraser," remember that it hasn't cost you £10, it's cost you less than that, and we're saving the rest of the money for next time. Okay, right, let's have a quick Charles Dickens quiz. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to ask you some questions about Charles Dickens, and I'm going to put 4 answers down the bottom here, multiple choice. There'll be a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, a number 4. And when you see the answers, if you think it's number 1, hold up 1 finger. If you think it's number 2, hold up 2, and so on. So hold up the number of fingers that you think the answer is. Okay, first question. In which year was Charles Dickens born? Which one of these years? Hold up the number of fingers for the year you think it was. Okay, question number 2. In which period of time did Charles Dickens live? At which time did he live? Have a look at these periods of time. Don't give me the answers, Mr. Smith. Which one of these? Hold up your fingers to tell me which one. Okay, next one. This is tricky. Look at these themes of stories at the bottom. Look at these themes. Which one is not a theme of Charles Dickens stories? Which one is not a theme? Wasn't part of his stories? Okay, and the last one. Look at these 4 Charles Dickens novels, these 4 books. Which one is not a Charles Dickens book? Which one of these is not a Charles Dickens novel? Okay, so that was a quick quiz. Hope you got most of those. Talk about them in class. I'm not going to do the answers now because you should know them. Right, Mr. Gum. Oh, I've loved it so far. Let's have a quick recap of where we got to. So, we met Mr. Gum. He's not a nice man. His house is an absolute tip. His garden is fantastic and beautiful. It needs to be because The fairy has told him that he's got to keep his garden beautiful. The angry fairy. And if he doesn't, whack! He gets whacked. That was the beginning of the story. Then we meet Jake the dog, who destroys his garden, rips up the grass, does poos everywhere, pulls leaves down, branches down, makes a real mess. And then Mr. Gum just gets whack, whack, whack by the fairy, and he's not happy. So then last week, we learned a little bit more about the fact that Jake kept coming back and back and back. Mr. Gum kept getting whacked and whacked and whacked, and eventually he had a plan. Then last week, we learned that Mr. Gum's plan was to get some rotten meat, stinking, full of germs, bacteria meat, to try and poison Jake the dog. And Mr. Gum thought about eating it himself and realised that was a silly idea. And then it also, and I'm not sure if we come back to this, I'm not sure, but he also sits on top of this old chest in his house, which he doesn't realise is absolutely full of, is it chocolate? I think it's full of chocolate or money, I can't remember. I'm going to have to just quickly check, sorry. Oh man. I know that he sits on this chest, and in it he's got no idea it's full of. Oh, he's sitting on a sailor's fortune. It might have been magic chocolate, so I'm not sure we know what's in it, but we know there's something in it which is incredible. But Mr. Gum has never bothered to open the chest. Anyway, he's got this plan. He's going to poison Jake the dog. Let's get started on it again. Here we go. Chapter 4. Mr. Gum has a cup of tea. Mr. Gum had a cup of tea. That's it. That is chapter 4. Brilliant. Chapter 5. I'm not even going to try and read that. That is the name of chapter 5. The next morning, Mr. Gum inspected the cow hearts. That's the rotten meat that he's going to use to poison the dog. They had been soaking all night in rat poison, and they were good and proper dangerous to dogs now, and they gave off a foul stench, even worse than before. That blibberin' dog will be smelling this bad smell, and with the animal instincts of animals, he'll refuse to eat them, thought the crafty old man. I better disguise the smell with something nice. Mr. Gum looked through his kitchen cupboards to find something nice to make the meat smell better. But was there anything nice in his kitchen cupboards? No, of course there wasn't. All he could find was a rotten turnip, a dried up mushroom, and a sock full of stale crisps. So he headed into town. He was in a filthy mood, and as he walked along, he muttered to himself, "Shabba me whiskers, shabba me whiskers, shabba me whiskers." Who'd have thought poisoning that stupid dog could be such hard work? It's just a whole load of bother. There was a little girl playing in the hedge as Mr. Gum walked by, and she heard what Mr. Gum said, and she grew worried. "What's old Mr. Gum up to now, talking about poisoning dogs?" said the little girl to herself. "What dog does he mean?" She ran through a list of all the dogs that she knew in her head. It didn't take long because she only knew one dog, and that was Jake, the big lovable... "Oh no!" cried the little girl. "No, I won't let him poison Jake. I loves that dog. Watch me, I do loves that dog. I loves him more than anything in that dog. He once saved my life, and now I'm not going to stand by playing in a hedge while that miserable old man poisons him to death. No way, I'll stop him, that's what I'll do," said the little girl. Her name was Jammy, Grammy, Lammy, for hooper, Berlin stereo, eo, leb, kiep, mnemonically, stray, pep, de grespin, de crespin, de spespin, de vespin, de whoop, de loop, de brunkle, Merry Christmas, Lenoir. But her friends just called her Polly. You'll have to make up your mind now if you think you're Polly's friend. If you are, then you can call her Polly too. But if you're not her friend, then every time you see the name Polly, in your head, you will have to say, Jammy, Grammy, Lammy, for hooper, Berlin stereo, eo, leb, kiep, mnemonically, stray, peck, de grespin, de crespin, de spespin, de vespin, de whoop, de loop, de brunkle, Merry Christmas, Lenoir, instead. Now, if you're her friend, then don't worry about it. But if you're not her friend, you will have to say that name. Most people in Lamonic Bibber, that's where they live. Most people in Lamonic Bibber chose to be Polly's friend just because it made life easier. Luckily though, Polly was a girl worth liking. She was 9 years old, with lovely sandy hair like a cat's daydream, and a smile as happy as the Bank of England. And when she laughed, the sunlight went splashing off her pretty teeth, like diamonds in search of adventure. So, after hearing Mr. Gum, Polly went racing down the hill like a runaway marble, desperate to find Jake the dog before he became the victim of Mr. Gum's evil scheme. She didn't know exactly what the old man was going to do, but she knew that her big friend Jake was in trouble. She ran past the old curiosity shop, and then she ran back because she was curious about what was in the shop. Then she remembered the danger that Jake was in and carried on running. She ran past a dustbin full of rubbish, and then she ran past another one filled with rubbish, and then another bin filled with rubbish, and then another one filled with princesses. There was something funny about one of those dustbins. She had the time to think, but she had to keep on running. She ran past big trees, she ran past little trees, she ran past tiny trees, and tiny little trees, so small they were actually pebbles. Yes, they were pebbles. She ran past a cat's ears, which were lying on the pavement, and a cat's nose, and whiskers, which were lying on the pavement, and a cat's body and tail and legs. Actually, it was just a cat lying on the pavement. She ran like the wind, and then got tired and walked like a breeze. She soon sped up again. Speed, 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 because she was desperate to save Jake the big whopper dog. It was only after she'd been running for about half an hour that she remembered something quite important. She had absolutely no idea where Jake lived. And what's more, she'd run out of Lamonic Bibber. She'd come to the woods on the edge of town, and they were big and scary and full of shadows. The ancient trees looked down on high, stern and forbidding. "We are the trees," they seemed to whisper. "You are not welcome in this place. We are the trees," they seemed to say to her. A cold wind blew, making Polly shiver, and she was certain one of the flowers was snarling at her. "Oh no," she cried, sitting down on one of those massive toadstools you sometimes get in spooky woods. I don't know where I am. I don't know where I am. And old Jake is facing the biggest challenge of his life, and I don't know where to find him, and that flower's going to eat me." And then she burst into tears. Just then, an old man peered out of the window of a secret cottage, hidden in the bushes behind her. Polly hadn't noticed the cottage, and I'm sure you wouldn't have noticed it either. That's the thing about secret cottages, they're secret. "Well, well, well," said the old man. "What have we here? A little girl in trouble." And here we're going to finish the chapter, leaving you to wonder if the old man is Mr. Gum or if it's a different man who was going to be nasty to Polly and laugh at her. Or maybe it's a good man. Yes, this chapter finishes with me not telling you that Polly was sitting outside the cottage of Friday O'Leary, a fantastic old fellow who knew the mysteries of time and space and things of nature. And with me not telling you that he's one of the heroes of this tale, I'm going to keep that information to myself, and you'll have to wait until chapter 7 to find out. That is what we call suspense. Whoa, what a place to finish the book so far. We know, and if you have a sneaky look you can see, we know that Polly's going to try and save Jake, and she might use Friday O'Leary to help her. But we've still got Mr. Gum desperate to kill Jake the dog. Okay, before we do shout outs and miss time, let's have a bit of cheer, boo, song or silence. It is a good one. Will they get to cheer or will they get to boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get to song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence. Hey, here we are again, everyone. Cheer, boo, song or silence time. And I'm very excited to say that Miss Smart is behind that curtain. Now, Miss Smart has only been at this school for about 4 weeks. She's having a great time, and I hope that today doesn't spoil that. Will she get a cheer, a boo, a song, or silence? What do you think? It's exciting, isn't it? Right, here we go. Cheer, boo, song, or silence. Out you come, Miss Smart! I feel awful. I'm sorry, Miss. She's gone. She's walked home. It's always a risk, and Miss Smart chose to take it. What can I say? See you next time. I hope it's better news. Will they get to cheer or will they get to boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get to song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence. Crikey, I honestly thought we wouldn't get a silence for a couple more weeks, but if that's what the card says, that's what the card says. Right, Stukeley shout outs. First of all, about 3 weeks ago, 3 and a bit weeks ago, I celebrated all of the children at school who took part in the summer reading challenge. I promised them all that they would be getting a prize, and they will be getting a prize. But before I talk about that, let's have a look at who those children were. Let's have a quick look. Okay, now the Oakleaf Bookshop is up and running, I'm going to come and talk to all of those children myself and tell them how much money they're going to be given to spend in the Oakleaf Bookshop. So hopefully by the end of this week or the start of next week, I'll have had a chat with everyone and told them how much more money they now can go and spend in the bookshop as their prize for the summer reading challenge. They'll also all get their own certificate. So watch out for them, they're going to be collector's items. There are no birthday shout outs today, not that I know of. So if I have missed out your birthday, I apologise. Although it is Mrs. Arnold's birthday today, and I know she's having a great time. But I did walk around school yesterday and I asked teachers who they thought was working hard. Work hard, be kind, we all know about that. I said, teachers, who's working really hard? And your teachers all said, lots of children. I said, please choose me one or two. So I'm just going to share some names with you of children who I know have been doing that work hard value so very well. I didn't check in with Foundation because they were doing all kinds of stuff, so I'll do them next time. In year 1, we've got Ezra, Alex, Hugo and Oscar. In year 2, we've got Garrett, Jack and Sunuli. In year 3, we've got Leah, Anthony, Amory and Thomas. In year 4, we've got Isabel, Harrison, Emma and... oh, you are kidding me. Edward. My writing is dreadful. Sorry, Edward, at least I dragged it out. Bit of suspense there for you. In year 5, we've got Munaza, Carolina, Sophia, and Josh E. Great work, everyone. And then in year 6, I mean, Mrs. Campbell just got carried away, but we've got Vishal, Julia, Ethan, Dominic, Damien, and Isabel. Now, those children are some of our hardest workers, but you're all doing brilliantly. Let's see if you make it into the book at some point. We know it's time for this. The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. The most important 60 seconds are coming up now. Okay, we're reading Mr. Gum. When you get home tonight, give yourself 1 minute, 2 minutes to tell your family what has happened so far. Use some of the clues here, but I really want you to share at home what has happened in this book. And well done, and thank you to all those children that are now excited about Andy Stanton and are getting his books from the AR library or buying them from the Oakleaf bookshop or Googling them themselves. That's great. Secondly, AR quizzes. I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again. You need to do them at home on your own. Please do not get somebody to read them for you. Please do not get somebody to answer the questions for you, because we will find out, because your level will go too high and you won't be able to do the quizzes in school. Final thing, the Oakleaf bookshop is open tomorrow for Foundation Year 3, Year 6. Have a great rest of the day.